So you had just asked Melissa about the philosophical differences and how we
Well, there's some
solve
major differences in philosophies. So, for
Yeah.
example, the approach to the kingdom, universal health insurance. So, how do you reconcile those
Yeah,
big
so
differences?
that's part of why we asked for the informateur process, to make sure that there is alignment in as many of those areas as possible. And if there isn't, then we have to, find a way around them that works in the best interest of the people. So I think that here, like I said, we're accustomed of rushing governments and coalition agreements, I guess, because everyone is anxious to dash into a position of power. But, if you take that step to really figure out, well, what are our thoughts on this? What are our thoughts on that? Because you can say whatever during campaign or on the floor of parliament or so if you were elected previously. But now it's really about looking at things objectively, not just from the political side of it, or that I'm playing politics to attack you and to get votes side of it, but what actually is going to work. So I'm looking forward to those discussions, like I said, and kind of ironing out, where the alignment does actually fall. I do know, sorry, like general health insurance, there are deep concerns. I know for myself, for MP Westcott, for MP Emmanuel, that we've expressed as well, in Parliament and off the floor of Parliament. And I think that there, you're going to see a kind of focus on deep diving into it and yeah, figuring out how we can move forward with that particular topic.
Is it, it seems to me a bit disgraceful, right? When we look about where we've been, and we were supposed to announce or start in January of this year with our universal health insurance, our national health insurance.
Yeah.
And now that's been pushed another year.
Yeah.
And here we go. It looks like we're going to have another push of some sort. And regardless of your opinion on universal health insurance or national health insurance plan, people deserve answers.
Yeah.
And we deserve results.
Well, I mean, and that's really why I said, it's to now see where we're at, truthfully, because, it was supposed to start this year, which was announced by the minister, very, surprisingly to us, because at the time that it was stated that the implementation goal was January 2024, we didn't even have it in Parliament.
Yeah.
So those are the things that we've also said we would like to stray away from. Like, if we're going to communicate something, communicate it properly, and don't just use it as a gimmick for people's attention. And I think that it being pushed to 2025 is a result of the assumption that, oh, this is going to rush through Parliament and be passed in time for me to campaign on it, for election.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So in contrast to the Netherlands, which has the same political system, right? The formation process there can take quite some time. It can take a long time for them to work out the governing program,
Yeah.
right? And the fact that, and they have a lot more resources.
Yeah.
So the fact that it takes them so long and that we do it so quickly kind of makes you wonder, are steps being skipped? So a thought. Why not incorporate stakeholders from the community as you're developing your governing program?
Yeah.
Why not get the feedback instead of just doing it within the coalition? Why not get outside feedback on it and maybe drag out that process a little bit, but make it a more inclusive process?
We, as a party, PFP, has always consulted with stakeholders. Even though we were not in government, we still found it important to get that input. Most of the questions that I asked, when it came to the idea of pre-clearance and such, was me questioning, air traffic controllers. Like, will this be feasible? What is the traffic like? Is it possible for you guys to handle that traffic plus, what is already there? All of those questions, all of those things we already do. And I think, again, because we've never really had this informateur process happen often, that is also part of it. They're not just talking to the politicians. They're also, expected to go to private sector, go to the NGO sector and such, and get their input on what they themselves see as the issues facing the country and what should be prioritized. So it's not just going to be us that has to have that discussion and decide. It's going to be with that input from external forces.
handle a combined 1.47 million inbound and outbound passengers in 2023. I want you to think about it for a minute. Close to 1.5 million passengers passed through Prince Juliana Airport in 2023, a year in which a number of airlines cut back their routes despite the demand of customers, increased fuel costs, drop in business travel due to staff shortage and delays of aircraft delivery. Despite all of this, our little airport continued to rebound month after month with final number, and let me repeat it, 1.47 million passengers handled in 2023. It shows the integral role PGIE plays in sustaining and further developing our main product, which is tourism. We are here today to celebrate another milestone reached with the opening of the reconstructed check-in area that we are surrounded in. But I would be remiss not to take this opportunity to focus on the future of PGIA. The vision and the future is contained in the airport's 10-year master plan, a blueprint that further develops an expansion of an airport facility that is based on future development. But one of the things that we are seeing already and experiencing is already at capacity. Armed with the master plan and targeting continued support in a growing economy, we aim to continue to invest in capital improvement projects that will ensure our ability to handle expected capacity increases. It is not something we can do alone. We need the help of key stakeholders. Together, we need to take a hard look at the best way to revamp our overall tourism strategy to ensure sustainability. Having said that, we need to rethink on upscaling our current tourism product rather than focusing on mass tourism. I was reminded recently by a very experienced and knowledge aviation CEO that no airport in the world is free of ongoing construction or reconstruction projects. It is how they operate and it's how they thrive. As managing director of the airport holding company, I fully support the strategic initiative management board and stakeholders that are now busy looking at our airport developments for the coming 10 years. Of the capital improvement projects that we can look forward to is a full improvement of the runway, apron and taxi areas for maintaining safety and operation in accordance with international standards. Thus, a complete rehabilitation and resurfacing of the runway and taxi area are needed. Fuel farm relocation and increased capacity. It is no secret that the current location of the fuel farm is a potential safety risk. Having said that, an assessment of the new location has been initiated and approved by all stakeholders. Hangars, RFF facilities and workplace improvement that translate into new maintenance hangars and a rescue and firefighting building to be developed and constructed. Terminal expansion and US pre-clearance. The terminal expansion will lead to a maximum capacity of 2.5 million passengers per year and will generate the required space to accommodate the US pre-clearance once this service is considered feasible.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXV, yeah, your social health insurances.
Thank you for coming to terms with something that is not for us, but for the people. Something that will alleviate strain, stress, burden on the people and yourself. Because we know when financial aid hits the bank account, the rush that we can create. We also seen an increase in seniors on financial aid. This helps alleviate that stress as well. I think we are moving into a technical age. The ministry itself has been assisting in technical assistance, especially with our seniors. So on behalf of the Ministry of VESA, I would like to extend heartfelt gratitude for understanding the vision. To the staff, your tireless work, your commitment. We know it's not easy. And although we are making this beneficial, the idea is to eventually, within the years to come, decrease the amount of dependence on financial aid.
Indeed, this, I just heard, it was like 3 years already or more that we are waiting to get to this point. And I think this is a good movement for St. Martin. As a good corporate citizen, Windward Island Bank, we believe that our duty is to help the progress of our community. And how do we envision that with this project? Is that we have three purposes with this. First of all, the welfare recipients, they will get a card from us. That card is our MasterCard debit. So actually they can make use of that anytime in the day, any day. So it's 24/7. I think that's an advantage that they don't have now, especially when we come to the bank sometimes on the 20th and we see a long line standing and people are saying they're standing there from 5 o'clock in the morning. I think that's not something you want to do to your citizens. So you want to make it easy for them because there's a need that they have that you provide to them that they can use it anytime. It can be used at all our ATMs. We have about 20 ATMs. That's our ATMs, but they can be used also the ATMs of the other banks. We have point of sale merchants, shops that they can use this. Over 200. That's ours, but again, all other banks, they can use it, all other shops too. And next to that, I think the government embarked on digitalization. And I think this is a way to demonstrate that we are partnering with the government on that, because I think that's much needed in our community. So we need to digitalize, and this is helping with that. And it's an honor. It's an honor to work with the government to get to this point, and I'm quite sure it's going to be a little bit bumpy in the beginning, but by the end, it's best for every part. It's best for the welfare recipients, for the country, for the government, and for the bank.
I'd like to announce very proudly that the government of St. Martin, under the auspices of the Ministry of Public Health, Social Development and Labor, signed an agreement today with MCB Windward Island Bank branch here in St. Martin to introduce the MasterCard debit card for all financial aid recipients of the government of St. Martin under the Division of Labor Affairs and Social Services. This is very much a historic moment. We've been working on on this for the past 3 years, together with Windward Island Bank, to introduce this. This is going to introduce a world of convenience for financial aid recipients, because it will do away with having only been able to access your funds by coming into the bank. You now have access to the financial aid amounts 24/7, as well as use of the merchant portals at various locations of the Windward Island Bank. We're extremely happy for this, and on behalf of the Minister of Public Health, Social Development and Labour, Honorable Omar Otley, we extend congratulations to the Windward Island Bank and gratitude as well for partnering with us to get this done for our financial aid recipients.
Your social and health insurance is your social and health insurance.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
Your social and health insurance.
It's time for a new brand that is as bold, vibrant, and colorful as the island of St. Martin, with colors drawn from our diversity, cultural heritage, and nature. Our breathtaking beaches, waters, and sun, the majestic brown pelican, our national symbol, the radiant yellow sage, our national flower, the historic border monument signifying the Dutch and French side, our exciting cruise, yachting, and boating ports, renowned Maho Beach and St. Martin Airport, the hub to the Caribbean. All these parts come together to create the shape of the island of St. Martin. More than a logo. It's a new brand that engages, excites, and will inspire travelers to book. It's time to tell the St. Martin story, to reintroduce travelers to St. Martin, to honor our past, to embrace our present, and shape our future. Our culture and diversity, Dutch and French sides, unrivaled cuisine, twice the nightlife, entertainment, and shopping, cruises, boating, and yachting. Twice the adventure, exploration, and relaxation. Splendid and scenic accommodations. Pinel, Tentamar, and island hopping in the Caribbean. Whatever your taste, St. Martin has more. Experience twice the Caribbean. St. Martin.
Tension is brewing in the diaspora as two advocate groups clash over who should be the voice of Jamaicans living overseas. The Jamaican Diaspora Crime Intervention and Prevention Task Force will be leading a series of protests on Friday about issues affecting Jamaicans living in and out of Jamaica. But, as Sandy Williams reports, the Jamaican Women of Florida group is not in support of the move.
Protests against corruption, crime and violence, among other issues in Jamaica, are set for Friday in Canada, the United Kingdom and Miami, Florida. Leading the charge is Dr. Rupert Francis, chairman of the Jamaica Diaspora Crime Intervention and Prevention Task Force. According to Dr. Francis, the motive is to express the diaspora's grave concerns about issues affecting Jamaicans. But not all members of the diaspora are in support of the move. Janice McIntyre is president of the Jamaican Women of Florida.
I hear the voices, and I know that we are not homogenous. We have different views, we have different issues, but there's no one group that can say, I'm speaking on behalf of the diaspora. And so when we think about what this group is doing, they're trying to highlight the negative about Jamaica on the world stage. And my issue is, what is the objective? Is it one, to embarrass the government of Jamaica, or is it two, to have partnerships being pulled from Jamaica in terms of aid?
However, Dr. Francis believes his decision to air what some has described as Jamaica's dirty laundry in the international media could prompt the government into action.
We have a crisis of lack of communication in Jamaica. Our children, when I see what happened to the child who stepped on the person's Clark shoes, both a male and a female, they were almost bludgeoned to death. I also saw a little boy, or many times, throwing stones into a classroom to their teacher. That would never happen during our days. Okay? The fact of the matter is, we need to take care of our children. That is what motivates us.
Additionally,
what we want to do is, when the donor funds come into Jamaica, we want to see how it is spent. We don't want it to disappear. We want, when they come there with their big shows and what have you, and come back to Jamaica, the money, we want to see how it is well spent. Look at the double that is in the JFF now and all other entities there. Look at it. You tell me, what should these girls and these guys who have worked so hard for what they want be in the coffers now? No. We believe that we should share and share alike.
If you are living here in the diaspora, whatever you do to highlight the ills of Jamaica are only affecting the 2.8 million people who are living in Jamaica. It doesn't affect me, because I'm looking at it from a macro standpoint. So I really do take unction for someone to stand up and say they are representing the diaspora, of which I'm a part of, and I do not share those concerns or issues at all.
The Jamaican Women of Florida is an exceptional group of women, I give them kudos. They've done a lot for the area of Southern Florida. And I understand their situation, and I understand they may not understand us and understand me and what have you. But please, I don't feel anyway, because I know that they mean well. And people must understand, though. Don't listen, look at the messenger, listen to the message. That's all I'm saying.
Sandy Williams, TVJ News.